Equinox blessings, kings and queens of this entirely cosmic dream. It is I, your friend Marina Love, who is healing the world of broken hearts and revealing life's greater truths. I realize that it's been a while since I've made a video. A lot has been happening in my own internal, external, physical, human, 3D, 5D experience on this planet at this time. And I just wanted to make a video to offer everyone that blessing of this equinox that is taking place right now as we speak, to mark the first day of spring, to give birth to the new opportunity, to the new earth. And that new earth is the 5D. Many of you have heard lots of information out there about the 5D and twin flames and unconditional love. And that's really what's being birthed right now in truth, is unconditional love, which means non-judgment. It means I can be as I am and they can be as they are without me attaching myself to what they're doing and making judgments upon that, but just knowing that all is love. And this is not a fluff statement that is to deviate from taking responsibility and just being love and light. It's actually much more than that, and it goes beyond the explanation of it. It's a feeling, it's a knowing of allowing all emotions to pass through without attaching to them. We are transmuting a lot of different lower frequency energies on this planet at this time. So it's really important that you don't make it mean anything about you. Just simply observe it and let it pass through. And also contemplate on what message it might have for you. What is the lesson? What is the teaching that's there? But whatever you do, just review unconditionally in observance without attaching to the means of the outcome. Which leads me to offer you a transmission today, a guided meditation. So please close your eyes for those of you who are watching. Connect to your breath for the moment. A happy outcome to all things is sure. Only joy can be the outcome. Complexities come from the ego. Circumstances can be like the forest we cannot see through the trees. Spiritual principle is simple and empowers you through the complexities. The power in you lays in knowing that you are not of this world. A disempowered mind identifies with what the mind can see, leading you to think of yourself as weak and circumstance as strong. Identify with yourself within spirit and align with using the power of your own mind. To align with the realm of circumstance is to align with the world of effect, where the human mind is the realm of cause. When you align with spiritual principle, you, number one, remember who you are, and number two, remember why you're here. You are disempowered in any situation when you forget who you are and why you're here. Existential hysteria and primordial forgetfulness beyond what you can imagine. Recognize. Our oneness includes the identity of love. Love, the truth of who you are, the spirit, the loving mind. In the presence of light, dark cannot exist. In the presence of love, fear cannot exist. The ego mind believes deeply in separation, tempting us into unloving thoughts that perpetuate, resisting forgiveness, resisting love, resisting mercy, resisting compassion, in very sly and insidious ways. The ego mind is suspicious at best and vicious at worst. We cannot be part of the healing of the earth until we become adept at applying fierce love in our individual lives. The ego obliterates love and uses fear. It is the guilt that ruins innocence. The forces of death seeking to obliterate the forces of life. The ego mind crucifies you. The ego mind destroys you. It seeks to create patterns of thought and behavior by which you do yourself in, coming up with ways for you to attack and destroy yourself before anyone even has the chance to. And these are where you start to learn your character defects. And now these are not necessarily problems with you. These are areas where you are wounded, the place in you physically where there was a split and the darkness got in. The ego is fascinated to know, where did it come from? A delay tactic to keep you from owning it and surrendering it to be healed. When you get mesmerized with where it came from, it becomes all too convenient to blame, displacing the responsibility instead of placing it into the hands of God. You must bring the darkness to light, admitting the nature of your wrongs. This is atonement. To admit. When you invite universe to heal something, it may appear that it is getting worse. Placing a magnifying glass onto your character defect. Universe says, I cannot take from you what you will not release from me. A detox will happen, where we're very likely to feel guilt, shame, and remorse. Everything will come to the surface. But remember, whatever is being revealed is being healed. Nobody has ever been your enemy the way you have been your own enemy. You've been acting from your character defects, but whatever you place on the altar is altered, and the altar being the mind. The outer altar is a reflection of the inner altar. Lift your perception to love, the truth of who you are. Fear asks, can I get something from you? Whereas love asks, can I give something to you? Virtue is its own reward. If you came from a loving place, you'll feel better at the end of the day. All thought creates form on some level. You must use your mind to create and not destroy. If you do not fill the room with light, darkness will settle in. So be proactive with your love. If I am not loving you, then I am opening myself to the imaginations of the ego mind, which has a cornerstone thought. It is a scavenger dog. It is like a heat-seeking missile for any scrap of the guilt of another, any evidence or a scrap of thought that it is your fault. The ego mind will not allow you to monitor your own character defects, but instead it'll be vigilant about monitoring everyone else's. The ego is kept alive through loveless thinking. As long as we are judging and attacking someone else, we are feeding it. The golden rule states, do unto others as you would have do unto you, which is perfect. The ego mind is always on the lookout for someone else's guilt, where the spirit mind is always on the lookout for the innocence of others. Love will always outwit your self-hatred. Your character defects are the living embodiment of your own self-hatred. So remember, this is the dark kingdom, and the universe is self-ordering and self-correcting. So when you are thinking loveless thoughts, you are not thinking. Instead, you are hallucinating, casting yourself out of the garden and into the kingdom of the dark mess, the darkness of illusion. The illusion is your own character defect, not of someone else's. And the pharaoh represents the slave driver in mythology. So love will outwit your self-hatred. Let go of the inner slave driver. Every problem on this planet is not because of what you think it is. It is because of a lack of reverence. We are irreverent towards the earth. We are irreverent towards each other. And only what you are not giving can be lacking in any situation. How to solve your character defects is not by declaring, I am working this out, for it is in conscious surrender which states, Dear universe, please take this from me. Please remove this from me. What happens next is often the unexpected, where spirit will take a magnifying glass to you, illuminating your defects. Where you may catch yourself saying things are getting worse. In truth, no they aren't. They were this bad before. Where you were under the illusion that it was about other people. It will become a difficult time, but please don't fear it. Go towards it and into it. Sad days are not necessarily the bad days, for they represent healing. Think physical detox. You will not feel good for a few days. That's why we've entered a numbing mess of distractions and pharmaceuticals, which make you feel like you have a disorder, like something is wrong with you. But in truth, you are undergoing transformation, and that is what is right with you. So part 1 in the journey of transformation is knowing you have this character defect, recognizing the wound, but ultimately realizing you do not need to act from this wound. The lie is, this is how I am. Well, if that's so, then enjoy your loneliness. Certain ill behavior may be your appetite, but it is not your deepest desire to blow it like this. Take this step, and you will be met. Universe will outwit your self-hatred, where you begin to lean into the solution, where you allow your best self to emerge. When you lean into healing, the universe supports that healing. Naturally, you begin to reprogram and disalign yourself to act from truth equals love equals beauty. The atonement sets in. The correction of perception. You begin to rise to the real you. And what falls away is the imposter self, the phase of personality that was created out of the wound. You have not simply become better, you have changed. So renew your mind. The ego will not get the final word. A happy outcome to all things is sure. There is no order of difficulty in miracles. The universe will outwit all. A happy outcome to all things is sure. And with this, I say, thank you for watching, for taking the last 11 minutes to be with me, darlings. That is a writing based off of a channeling from the Course in Miracles. And I really encourage you all on this equinox to invite that in. Non-judgment, non-harming, non-impinging. Just invite it in. You are under a magnifying glass when you do. Be gentle with yourself and be true to your heart. Because the ego will look for the blame of another, whereas the spirit will look for the innocence. So continually kiss the innocence of your own heart and watch it transform the world with your beautiful, radiant, innocent love. Thank you so much again for watching. If any of you are interested, I'm thinking about doing a retreat at the end of April. I know this is last minute, but I like to build the plane as I fly it. So who's coming with me? I'm thinking about going to Kauai. There's really good prices on flights right now from Montreal for anyone who's in the Montreal area. Think about it and see if it resonates true in your heart. It's going to be an alchemical transformation. So you will turn into your utmost highest manifestation of the living embodiment of divinity at this time. Blessed equinox, beloveds. And may we all hold God's hands as we walk each other home.